leg muscle cramps, causes, relief, and prevention. What if the real reason for your leg cramps isn't just dehydration or a potassium deficiency? Imagine a hidden cause that many of us overlook, something that happens deep within your muscles. This is a story about more than just a simple ache. It's about understanding the silent signals your body is sending you. Let's get to the bottom of what's really happening and find easy, lasting relief. Gluten is the most misunderstood topic in health. It's a word that can evoke strong reactions, particularly in America. For many, it's demonized, a dietary villain responsible for a litany of ailments. For others, it's a harmless component of staple foods enjoyed for centuries. The truth, as with most complex health topics, lies somewhere in the nuanced middle. This isn't just about bread, pizza, or pasta. It's about the intricate dance between our food, our environment, and our individual physiology. And at the heart of this discussion, a silent perpetrator often emerges: glyphosate. Why do Americans, in particular, seem to have a visceral reaction to wheat? The script hints at a crucial, often overlooked factor: glyphosate. This widely used herbicide, the active ingredient in Roundup, is extensively sprayed on wheat crops as a desiccant, meaning it's used to dry the crop out for a more convenient and earlier harvest. This practice, while beneficial for industrial agriculture, raises serious concerns about its impact on human health. Monsanto, now Bayer, and its practices continue to be a subject of intense scrutiny, and the potential link between glyphosate and our health struggles with wheat is a significant piece of this puzzle. The issue isn't just that we're consuming glyphosate, it's how it interacts with our biology. Glyphosate is known to inhibit certain enzyme pathways in plants, but research suggests it can also disrupt human metabolic processes. Specifically, it can inhibit CYP450 enzymes, a crucial group of enzymes involved in detoxification and hormone metabolism. The inhibition of CYP450 can lead to an accumulation of estrogen and, critically, an increase in intestinal permeability or leaky gut. This means that even in non-transgenic wheat that hasn't been genetically modified to be resistant to glyphosate, the residual glyphosate can be silently contributing to a cascade of internal problems. This is the grim reality of our modern food system. Commercial foods, even those perceived as wholesome, could be harboring these insidious endocrine disruptors. The food industry, driven by profit and often lacking transparency, isn't readily broadcasting these truths. Gluten's role, more than just a simple protein. So if glyphosate is the underlying culprit, where does gluten fit in? For some, gluten truly is harmless. Their bodies can process it without issue, and they experience no adverse effects. But for a growing number of individuals, gluten is indeed wrecking their gut, brain, and immune system. The mechanism by which gluten, particularly its subcomponent gliadin, contributes to this havoc in sensitive individuals is well documented. Gliadin activates the release of zonulin, a protein that acts like a gatekeeper for the tight junctions in our gut lining. When zonulin is activated, it signals these tight junctions to open. Once the gut barrier is compromised, a condition commonly referred to as leaky gut, harmful substances that should remain contained within the digestive tract, such as toxins, undigested food particles, and even bacteria, leak into the bloodstream. This triggers a widespread inflammatory response throughout the body, activating the immune system inappropriately and leading to a state of chronic inflammation and immune dysfunction. Over time, this sustained inflammation can manifest in a bewildering array of symptoms far beyond just digestive upset. These can include chronic fatigue, a persistent and debilitating tiredness that isn't relieved by rest, mood disorders, anxiety, depression, and irritability, often without a clear external trigger, thyroid issues, autoimmune thyroid conditions like Hashimoto's, leading to a host of metabolic imbalances, joint pain, aching and inflammation in joints, often mimicking arthritis, skin rashes, eczema, psoriasis, and other dermatological conditions that defy conventional treatment, brain fog, difficulty concentrating, memory problems, and a general feeling of mental cloudiness, hormonal dysfunction, irregular periods, fertility issues, and other endocrine imbalances. The sad truth is that a vast number of people are walking around in a state of chronic inflammation, experiencing these symptoms, and have no idea why. They may be diligently avoiding gluten-containing foods, believing gluten is the sole problem, without addressing the deeper systemic issues driven by factors like glyphosate exposure. The real problem with gluten: it's not just what you eat, but how your body reacts. It's tempting to point fingers at the usual suspects: bread, pizza, pasta. These are the obvious sources of gluten in our diet. However, the core issue isn't simply the presence of gluten in these foods. The real problem lies in the permeability of your gut lining and your individual physiological response. As discussed, gluten, specifically gliadin, acts as a trigger for zonulin release. This activation of zonulin is the key event that leads to the opening of the tight junctions in your gut lining. When these junctions are compromised, the protective barrier of your intestines is weakened, allowing undesirable substances to pass through into your bloodstream. This leaky gut then ignites a systemic inflammatory response throughout your body. So, while bread, pizza, and pasta contain gluten, they are merely the vehicles for a protein that, in sensitive individuals, sets off a chain reaction, culminating in widespread inflammation. Beyond the gut, gluten's impact on the brain. One of the most insidious aspects of gluten sensitivity is that its symptoms often extend far beyond the digestive tract. Many individuals experience neurological and systemic issues that they may never connect to their diet. The medical community recognizes a condition called non-celiac gluten sensitivity, NCGS. This is distinct from celiac disease, an autoimmune condition where gluten causes severe damage to the small intestine. With NCGS, individuals experience symptoms similar to celiac disease, but without the characteristic intestinal damage or the specific antibodies found in celiac. The real-life effect of NCGS is profound. You feel unwell, often profoundly so, but you don't know why. The symptoms can be incredibly diverse and debilitating, including brain fog, a feeling of mental fatigue, difficulty concentrating, and impaired cognitive function. Joint pain, aches and inflammation in joints, often misdiagnosed as other inflammatory conditions. Skin rashes, eczema, psoriasis, and other persistent skin conditions that resist conventional treatments. Anxiety and depression, mood disturbances that can be severe and unresponsive to standard psychological interventions. Hormonal dysfunction, irregular menstrual cycles, difficulty with fertility, and other endocrine imbalances. These non-digestive symptoms highlight the systemic nature of inflammation triggered by gluten in sensitive individuals. The gut-brain axis is a well-established connection, and when the gut is inflamed, it sends signals that can profoundly affect brain function and mood. Similarly, systemic inflammation can impact hormone regulation and immune function throughout the body. Gluten as a fire starter. When your gut is already compromised, the impact of gluten is often amplified when your gut health is already compromised. Think of your gut as a delicate ecosystem. If it's thriving, it can often handle minor assaults. But if it's already struggling, gluten can act as gasoline on the fire. If you're dealing with any of the following conditions, gluten may be significantly worsening your symptoms. Irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, a common functional gut disorder characterized by abdominal pain, bloating, and altered bowel habits. Gluten can exacerbate these symptoms in many IBS sufferers. Autoimmune issues. Conditions like Hashimoto's thyroiditis, rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, and multiple sclerosis involve the immune system attacking the body's own tissues. A leaky gut, triggered or worsened by gluten, can contribute to the development and progression of autoimmune diseases by allowing undigested food particles and toxins to enter the bloodstream, thereby overactivating the immune system. Skin conditions. Chronic eczema, psoriasis, and acne often have an underlying inflammatory component, and gut health plays a significant role. Chronic fatigue. As mentioned earlier, persistent inflammation and immune dysfunction can drain energy levels. Anxiety and depression. The gut-brain axis ensures that gut inflammation can directly impact neurotransmitter balance and mood. The strategy here is clear. Heal the gut to reduce the blow of gluten. By repairing the gut lining, rebalancing the microbiome, and reducing overall inflammation, you can build a more resilient internal environment that is less reactive to dietary triggers, including gluten. Decoding your sensitivity. How to know if you're sensitive. Forget the guesswork and endless speculation. If you suspect gluten is impacting your health, there's a systematic approach to determine your sensitivity. Get a celiac blood test. This is the crucial first step to rule out celiac disease, a serious autoimmune condition requiring strict lifelong gluten avoidance. Your doctor can order tests for specific antibodies, TGIGA, EMA, IgA, DGPA, DGPG. Remove gluten completely. If celiac is ruled out, embark on a strict elimination diet. Remove all sources of gluten from your diet for a minimum of 30 days. This means no wheat, barley, rye, or oats, unless certified gluten-free, due to cross-contamination. Be diligent. Read food labels carefully, as gluten can hide in many processed foods. Reintroduce after 30 days and track symptoms. After the elimination period, reintroduce gluten gradually. Choose a pure source of gluten, e.g., a piece of whole wheat bread, and consume it daily for a few days. Journal brain plus body responses. During the reintroduction phase, meticulously journal any physical or mental symptoms you experience. Note changes in digestive issues, bloating, gas, abdominal pain, changes in bowel habits, energy levels, fatigue, sudden drops in energy, mood, irritability, anxiety, sadness, brain fog, skin, rashes, breakouts, itching, joint pain, aches, stiffness, sleep quality, difficulty falling asleep, waking up tired. If you feel noticeably clearer, stronger, and calmer without gluten, and your symptoms return or worsen upon reintroduction, then you have your answer. Trust that experience. Your body is providing clear signals about what it tolerates and what it doesn't. Ideally, if you discover you're sensitive to gluten, avoiding it completely is the best course of action. However, life isn't always ideal, and occasional exposure may be unavoidable, or you may choose to strategically include small amounts if your sensitivity is mild.